Hello guys, it's Ign Hl04 back with another Splinterlands video. Today we're gonna see what cards are mandatory for a sufficient dragon deck. But first and foremost, if you like this type of content, please feel free to like and subscribe. And also comment down below if this was helpful to you and if I should keep on with this series. So first up, let's see to the reward cards and which dragon cards, which dragon cards I own for a nice sufficient modern deck. First up, I want to shout out to the Naga Assassin. This card is currently very cheap. I remembered I flipped him for 70-60 cents a bunch back in the day, but now it's just only 1 or 2 cents if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's it's exactly 1.8. And I would suggest him at the max level. He's very strong, especially in diamond and above, because he gets the swiftness ability and also backfire, but I only use him because of the swiftness. So let's then hop into the Twilight Basilisk. For me personally, this card gets really strong at level 5, where it gets the stuns, so basically in gold and above. I would recommend to you, as I always recommend to you, to use the max level card that you can use in your league, because those cards are dirt cheap. The Infiltrator is one of the stronger cards. I would also use him a lot in bronze and silver, especially in silver. You can pair him up with the blue team, and then with the River Helendale with the Inspire, you can make him up to do 6 damage a turn, 6 sneak damage, which is amazing. And I think this card is a little undervalued for about 2 cents a copy, and you get a level 6 for $1. So just buy a max copy from your league. And then in the last one we have the where's the Chawala. For me, this card is especially helpful in bronze in low mana games, and I really like this card a lot. For me, this card is really a meta card in the lower leagues, and I would recommend buying one if you don't own one, and it will help you to win a lot of battles. So let's go then to Chaos Legion and Rift Watchers. Look at all cards. First up we have the Whelp. The Whelp for me is a really strong opportunity monster. You can put him in a lot of low mana battles. The only downside is that it's very expensive. If I'm playing in silver, I would recommend a level 3 copy at least. In gold, you can go with a level 6, but I would recommend a level 8. Or, wait, that's silver, let's go. Never mind, I would recommend in bronze, I would recommend a level 3 because it gets the extra attack. In silver, I would recommend a level 5 because of the snare. In gold, only option is level 8 because of the extra attack. And in diamond, it also gets the spell. This card is a little overvalued currently as the whole Rift Watcher set. It costs 27 cents per BCX, which is a lot for a common card. And if you like it, or if you consider buying it, before you buy it, just consider ranking it if you're still using him. I'm using a level 3 copy on my alt account and I really like it. Then there's the Runic Skyclaw, which for me is an amazing card. In the lower leagues it's also good because it does a lot of archery damage. And then as higher you go, it gets Reflection Shield in gold, which is perfectly to pair up with the, if you play against a Jotun, or if you suspect a Jotun or in a blast rule set, and then with the Wave Brute you can also put him in the back, and then it also gets Giant Killer. So this card is very strong in every level of the game, but I wouldn't suggest you to buy it because it's 130 per BCX, and that's too expensive. You can get summoners for that money, so wait until this card is getting cheaper. Then we have the Sisba, that's a summoner, I'm not gonna talk about her. Then we're gonna move on to the Chaos Dragon. For me, this card is really strong. In bronze, I wouldn't use him that much because it only gets scattershot, but in silver, it gets good with the blast, and it has 3 attack and blast, so it's gonna do 3 damage to one monster and 2 to the next to the monster. So it's gonna be amazing in silver if you have the mana to use it. Then we have in gold, we're gonna get the blind, and there is a combination which is really strong, is the Chaos Dragon with the Void Dragon, because then the blind, and it's gonna help the Void Dragon to evade a lot, and on the max level it's only getting an extra attack. This card is not a must have, but it's really a nice addition to your arsenal, but it's not a really mandatory card because you can't play him that often. Then we're gonna take a look at the Desert Dragon. This card is really cheap. It only costs about $2 per BCX. And if you like the piercing or the trample in silver, you can use him quite well, because you can also use him in melee can attack from any position rule says, where the trample may get off a lot more times. I wouldn't use him as a main tank, but especially in silver, bronze, in silver, gold and diamond, it's getting really good. And in diamond you can use him with a double resurrect with the promo card, and then put him in the front, a taunt in the back with 2 resurrects and maybe a tank heal, and this card is gonna do some work in the front in high mana battles. And for me, I really like this card, especially higher up, but I don't use him on my alt account in silver. So it's your opinion if you buy him. For me, I really like this card. We have the Cyox Wool. This card is so cheap that you have to buy a max copy on your level. It's like $1 per BCX, and in certain rule sets this can be helpful. I'm considering, yeah, it's $1 per BCX, so it's $11 for a max copy and $3 for a level 2 one. So I would only use this card if you're playing in rule sets where everyone has the same amount of health. Then this card is gonna do some work with 6 damage. And yeah, I basically would only use him in silver and above, because in silver it gets the close range ability. In gold and bronze I wouldn't use him because it doesn't get close range, so it's, for me it would be an useless slot and would use another card. But silver and above, try him out. Sometimes I made good, sometimes it's very strong, sometimes it's really weak, but from time to time I'm winning a battle with the recharge ability and this monster. So then we come to one of my most favorite dragon cards, the Void Dragon. For me, I'm using this a lot, it doesn't matter in which level, because in bronze it gets the Void. The Void is really helpful because there is a really magic dominant meta down there, and with the Void Dragon and the healer you can go and demolish all of them, because it's really strong down there. Then in gold you get the, let's just put it there, you get the phase ability, and the phase works excellent with when you're using a blind like the Chaos Dragon. Both of them together are really amazing cards, and I would recommend that you buy a max copy on your team. I'm currently trying to get him to diamond level because I really like using this card, especially in gold. It helped me a lot to climb the ranks, and I hope he will get the, like, he's really cheap, and I hope it will get an acknowledged a little more, because it's only $3.40 per BCX, and for me that's a little cheap, because I think it's worth more on how good it actually is. Then we have Quicks. We don't need to talk about him, just own at least one copy for playing in bronze. And then the Carnage Titan. This card is extraordinarily strong in silver, bronze, and gold. I don't know how it's in diamond. I haven't used him a lot in diamond because I don't have maxed him out. But if you have the mana to play him, this card is gonna be a card that's gonna help you a lot, especially in gold with the shield. It's gonna help you to outlive a lot of attacks. The only downside to him is magic, so you need an anti-magic tank in the front or maybe a magic reducer, but for me I like this card a lot. It's really strong. It's also not as cheap as the other dragon cards. I think it's one of the more expensive ones. And if you have a little spare money left, I would recommend, if you're playing in bronze, get one copy. In silver, just try and rent a level 3 copy if you like him, buy him. And in gold, I definitely ensure you this card will help you to win some battles. So then let's go to one of the last cards, the Ign Hl04. For me, that's also a Rift Watcher card. For me, this card is too expensive for what it does. It currently costs about $26 per BCX, and that's more than a legendary summoner. And before I would spend the money to buy this card, I would consider buying a legendary summoner like Quicks, Rave, or Yasek. And for me, those three are worth more than a long tail. But I have to point out, this card is a really strong tank, and with the double attack it's really helpful. You can also put him in the bag with 2 magic damage and the heal. And this card is really strong, but it's not worth $26, and I think there are better options out there to invest your money than in this card. So then we come to the last card, because then there's also a promo card which currently is on sale, where we can look at the Hl04. For me, this card, I bought him at $22 per BCX, and I think it was a pretty good deal because I like this card. It's a really strong support card. I already made a video about her with the Resurrect and the Heal, and I think this card is worth the money. I wouldn't go after her if it's the first card you want to get, but especially if you have a well-rounded deck, I would recommend her to you. For me, it's the most helpful in gold and above because of the reflection shield, the heal, and the resurrect, but you can do some really nasty plays in silver and below also with her. And $30 is a lot, but I think this card is really worth it because there's no more supply out there, and every card of that is already minted. And for me, she is really amazing. But I have to admit, I don't like the artwork that much. I like the abilities, but the artwork isn't my most favorite. And I'm gonna quickly show you what cards I own, what dragon cards I own, what my currently... Okay, it lagged a little bit. Maybe I'm gonna reload the page. So let's do dragon owned. These are currently all dragon cards I own. I'm not really satisfied with my dragon deck because I want to upgrade the Chaos Dragon, Desert Dragon, Void Dragon, Karnscheid, and also the Wool to the next level. Then I will be satisfied to have a max Dragon Chaos Legion deck. But till then, I'm trying to make my best with these cards in Diamond. And I hope I could help you by showing you what are the pros and cons of every card, what card you should get, and maybe I will help you to climb in your league. So if you like this type of content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and also comment down below what cards you have and if I should take a look in your collection to see what you maybe can do better. And I wish you an amazing rest of the day. Bye.